ਇਹ ਤਨ ਸਭੋ ਰਤ ਹੈ, ਰਤ ਬਿਨ ਤਨ ਨ ਹੋਏ। ਜੋ ਸਹਿ ਰਤੇ ਆਪਣੇ, ਤਿਨ ਤਨ ਲੋਭ ਰਤ ਨ ਹੋਏ। ਹੁਕਮ ਸ੍ਰੀ ਗੁਰੂ ਗ੍ਰੰਥ ਸਾਹਿਬ, ਪੇਜ 949-950, ਅੰਗ 949-950। ਸ਼ਲੋਕ ਮਹੱਲਾ ਥਰਡ। ਇਹ ਤਨ ਸਭੋ ਰਤ ਹੈ, ਰਤ ਬਿਨ ਤਨ ਨ ਹੋਏ। ਜੋ ਸਹਿ ਰਤੇ ਆਪਣੇ, ਤਿਨ ਤਨ ਲੋਭ ਰਤ ਨਾ ਹੋਏ। ਭੈ ਪਈਐ ਤਨ ਖੀਨ ਹੋਏ, ਲੋਭ ਰਤ ਵਿਚੋਂ ਜਾਏ। ਜਿਉ ਬਸੰਤਰ ਤਾਤ ਸੁਧ ਹੋਏ, ਤਿਉ ਹਰ ਕਾ ਪਉ ਦੁਰਮਤ ਮੈਲ ਗਵਾਏ। ਨਾਨਕ ਤੇ ਜਨ ਸੋਹਣੇ, ਜੋ ਰਤੇ ਹਰ ਰੰਗ ਲਾਏ। ਸ਼ਲੋਕ ਮਹੱਲਾ ਥਰਡ। In this slok, while explaining one of the sloks by Farid ji, Guru ji tells us how we can make this body really gorgeous and virtuous. He beautifully uses the word Ratt, Punjabi equivalent of blood, red color or love, in three different meanings which can only be enjoyed if one reads the original text in Punjabi. He says, "Oh my friends, this entire body of ours has blood. Without blood, the body cannot survive. They who are imbued with the love of their spouse, God, do not have any greed in their blood. When we submit to the fear of God, our body becomes weak, and any blood or thought of greed is driven out of it. Just as upon putting in fire, a metal becomes pure, similarly the fear of God dispels the dirt of bad intellect. O Nanak, beauteous, that is virtuous, are those devotees who imbued with God's love are attuned to Him. Stanza 1. Mahalla third. Ram kari Ram man vasya, ਤਾਂ ਬਣਿਆ ਸਿਗਾਰ। ਗੁਰ ਕੈ ਸ਼ਬਦ ਕਮਲ ਬਿਗਸਿਆ, ਤਾਂ ਸੋਪਿਆ ਭਗਤ ਭੰਡਾਰ। ਭਰਮ ਗਿਆ ਤਾਂ ਜਾਗਿਆ ਚੂਕਾ, ਅਗਿਆਨ ਅੰਧਾਰ। ਤਿਸਨੋ ਰੂਪਤ ਅਗਲਾ, ਜਿਸ ਹਰ ਨਾਲ ਪਿਆਰ। ਸਦਾ ਰਵੈ ਪਿਰ ਆਪਣਾ, ਸੋਭਾਵੰਤੀ ਨਾਰ। ਮਨਮੁਖ ਸਿਗਾਰ ਨ ਜਾਣਨੀ, ਜਾਸਨ ਜਨਮ ਸਭ ਹਾਰ। ਬਿਨ ਹਰ ਭਗਤੀ ਸੰਸ ਸਿਗਾਰ ਕਰੈ, ਨਿਤ ਜੰਮੇ ਹੋਏ ਖੁਆਰ। ਸਹਿ ਸਾਰੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਸੋਭਾ ਨ ਪਾਇਨ, ਅੱਗੇ ਜੇ ਕਰੈ ਸੋ ਜਾਣੈ ਕਰਤਾਰ। ਨਾਨਕ ਸੱਚਾ ਏਕ ਹੈ, ਦੋਹਾਂ ਵਿੱਚ ਹੈ ਸੰਸਾਰ। ਚੰਗੇ ਚੰਗੇ ਮੰਦੈ ਆਪ ਲਾਇਨ, ਸੋ ਕਰਨ ਜੇ ਆਪ ਕਰਾਏ ਕਰਤਾਰ। ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ। Mahalla third. In the previous slok, Guruji stated that beauteous or virtuous are those devotees who, being imbued with the love of God, are attuned to Him. Now he describes how such persons become beauteous in the divine sense. He says, "O my friends, if by singing praises of God in a melodious musical measure, such as Ramkari, God is enshrined in one's mind, that becomes like one's ornamentation, and one looks beauteous and virtuous. If through the Guru's word the lotus of one's heart blooms, then God entrusts one with the treasure of his devotion. Further, if through the Guru's word one's doubt is removed, then one is awakened to the false allurements of the world, and one's darkness of ignorance is dispelled. That bright soul who is truly in love with God looks very beauteous and virtuous. Such a good reputed bright soul always enjoys the company of the spouse, God. But the self-conceited bright souls do not know how to embellish themselves with the ornamentation of virtues which are pleasing to the spouse, God. They would depart from the world, losing the game of human life. They who embellish themselves with ornaments, that is, garbs and rituals bereft of the worship of God, are born and being wasted daily. They don't get any respect in this world. What happens to them in the beyond, that God alone knows. O Nanak, it is the one God alone who is eternal and free from the rounds of birth and death. But the world is subject to these two processes of birth and death. God himself has yoked the creatures to good or evil deeds, and they do what the Creator makes them do. Stanza 2. Mahalla 3rd. बिन सतगुर सेवे साथ न आवई, दूजी नाई जाए, जे बहुतेरा लोचिए विन कर्मा पाया न जाए। अंतर लोभ विकार है, दूजे पाए खुआए, तिन जम्मन मरन न चुकई, हामे विच दुख पाए। जी सतगुर स्यों चित लाया, से खाली कोई नाहे, तिन जम की तलब न होवई, ना होए दुख सहाय। नानक गुरमुख उबरे, सच्चे शब्द समाहे। In the previous Mahalla 3rd, in the previous slok, Guruji stated that when the lotus of one's heart blooms through the Guru's word, God bestows upon that one the treasure of his devotion. In this slok, he shows the opposite picture and tells what happens if one tries to obtain God without the Guru's guidance. He says, "O my friends, without serving, that is, without following the guidance of the Guru, one doesn't obtain peace of mind, and except the Guru, there is no other place where one can get this peace. Even if we wish a lot, without destiny, the Guru cannot be obtained. Because as long as there is greed and evil within mortals remain lost in the love of others, that instead of God. So their cycle of births and deaths never ends, and engrossed in ego, they suffer in pain. But from the Guru's court, but they who have attuned their minds to the true Guru, they do not come empty-handed from the Guru's court. They are not summoned by the demon of death, nor do they suffer pain. O Nanak, the Guru's followers are saved because they remain merged in the Guru's eternal word. Stanza 3. Paudi. आप अल्पत सदा रहे, और तंदे सब थावे, आपने चल अचल है, और आवे जावे, सदा सदा हर ध्याइए, गुरमुख सुख पावे, निज घर वासा पाइए, सच सिफत समावे, सच्चा गैर गंभीर है, गुर शब्द बुझाई। Paudi. Now Guruji tells us how God, while himself remaining detached or unaffected, has engaged his creatures into different tasks, and what the way is to get out of the constant worldly involvements, enjoy eternal peace, and become one with God himself. He says, "O my friends, God himself remains detached from worldly involvements, but all others keep running after worldly tasks. He himself is immovable and eternal, but the other creatures keep coming and going. By always contemplating on such a God, the Guru's followers enjoy peace. They find a place in their own home, that is the abode of God, and always remain absorbed in praising the eternal God. Through his word, the Guru makes us realize that the eternal God is profound and unfathomable." Paudi 8. The message of this Paudi is that without true love, God's devotion cannot be done, and all one's outer garbs and decorations are merely a show, which have no spiritual merit. But without the guidance of the true Guru, one remains filled with greed and evil thoughts, which ruin one and make one suffer the pains of birth and death. The Guru gives us this guidance that it is only through the praise of God that we merge in him. Vaheguru Ji ka Khalsa, Vaheguru Ji ki Fateh. SGGS 949-950. Thank you.